house rules. I like you dance music, Philip house rules. Music, house rules. Ladies, come and feel this song. But I wanna see you more. Come and show me what you got. Then I do what you want.
So you kick me like that song, then I kick it dance with you. So you come and make me high, then I want that with you.
I do, but me too. I do, but me too.
I do, but me too. I do, but me too. See, I feel with my heart.
So you keep like that song. I do, but me too. Come on, play.
'Cause I can't stop you why. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I was that me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night.
Ladies, come and feel this song. But I wanna see you more. Come and show me what you got. Then I do what you want.
So you kick me like that song, then I kick it dance with you. So you come and make me high, then I want that with you.
I do, but me too. I do, but me too.
I do, but me too. I do, but me too. See, I feel with my heart.
So you keep like that song. I do, but me too. Come on, play.
'Cause I can't stop you why. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I was that me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night. 'Cause I can't stop you why. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I was that me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night.
I like you dance music, Philip house rules. Music, house rules. I like you dance music, Philip house rules. Music, house rules. I like you dance music, Philip house rules. Music, house rules. I like you dance music, Philip house rules. Music, house rules. I like you dance music, Philip house rules. House rules. Ladies, come and feel this song. But I wanna see you more. Come and show me what you got. Then I do what you want.
So you kick me like that song, then I kick it dance with you. So you come and make me high, then I won't stop repeating.
Baya do, but me too. Baya do, but me too.
Baya do, but me too. Baya do, but me too. Sing I feel with my heart.
So you kick like that song. Baya do, but me too. Come on, play.
'Cause I can't stop hear you whine. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I won't stop me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night.
Ladies, come and feel this song. But I wanna see you more. Come and show me what you got. Then I do what you want.
So you kick me like that song, then I kick it dance with you. So you come and make me high, then I won't stop repeating.
Baya do, but me too. Baya do, but me too.
Baya do, but me too. Baya do, but me too. Sing I feel with my heart.
So you kick like that song. Baya do, but me too. Come on, play.
'Cause I can't stop hear you whine. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I won't stop me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night. 'Cause I can't stop hear you whine. Music is my life. You don't let me heal. I won't stop me die. Just to let me high. Music is my life. See you late at night.
I like you dance music, feel it bounce. It's music, house rules. I like you dance music, feel it bounce. It's music, house rules. I like you dance music, feel it bounce. It's music, house rules. I like you dance music, feel it bounce. It's music, house rules.
Okay, so hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to Ask the Gen Y. Now this is our seventh episode. So salamat no sa lahat ng mga nanonood, for everyone who's been watching. Okay, so tonight is a very exciting night because I guess especially this time of pandemic, we're always wondering what to do, how to earn money, um, and all the things in between, siguro, no? So as you can see, I have three people with me, and we'll get to know them in a little while. But first, I would like to introduce my co-host for tonight, Mr. Chandler Villegas. Hi, good evening, Chandler.
Hi, Miss Lai. Good evening. Welcome to all our viewers. Good evening, and I hope you're safe under the weather. So, good evening.
Okay, so Mr. Villegas, no, Mr. Chandler Villegas, sir. What do you think of our topic for tonight? Do you find it interesting?
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's a question where, at one point or another, we all ask ourselves now. And so we've invited a number of our individuals who are within the Generation Y to ask them about this question and what they think can help us through this topic. So joining us
Okay.
tonight, we have a power couple in Cagayan also. Um they are a couple of professional coaches. So joining us tonight, Mr. Justin Hagisan and his lovely wife, Ma'am Rhea Mokoro Hagisan. Sir Justin, Ma'am Rhea,
Hello.
Evening.
good evening.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello sa
Good
tanan.
evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so can you provide some information, Sir Chandler, on the bios of our guest, no? Kung unsa ni sila kakusgan.
Mhm. Okay, all right. See, we'll start with Sir Justin. Sir Justin is a master life coach from Transformation Academy. He aims to help people achieve the best versions of themselves through a realistic step by step process of self conceptualization. He's also an REBT practitioner and a member of the Complementary Therapists Accredited Association. He's also an entrepreneur and a content specialist. He offers coaching services for individuals and corporate clients alike. He's also the founder of Thrive Hive, a coaching company, and he runs this with his wife, si Ma'am Rhea. He's been invited by a number of companies and institutions, including our school, Xavier University, where si Sir Justin is also an alumnus of the school. So that's Master Life Coach, Sir Justin Agisan. Sir Justin, can you say hi to our viewers?
Hello, good evening sa tanan. Welcome to the podcast. I hope mag-enjoy mo sa among discussion for tonight.
We sure will,
Yes,
Sir
no.
Justin.
This is a very exciting topic. I think ako personally, I really look forward to this day, no. I was really hoping gani that dili mo ma-affect sa signal, no, sa ano, ma-affect ang signal ni Auring, and thankfully Auring is
Miss Lai.
not here. Okay, so now wala na to introduce si Sir Justin. Let me
Mhm.
introduce his wife. Okay, si Mrs. Rhea Mokoro Hagisan. So Ms. Rhea here is an instructor and a project leader at USDP Incubation Hub. She is also a professional fellow of YC on economic empowerment and Southeast Asian women. Miss Rhea is known also as Kuripot Pinay with a blog advocacy on her website, kuripotpinay.com, and a YouTube channel no, with the same name. Alongside her husband Justin, or Sir Justin, Ms. Rhea also coaches, and some of the services that she renders are personal financial coaching, basic investments, and all those money related topic. So that's the background of Miss Rhea. Okay. So muna siya na makaingon kita na this is going to be an interesting topic because based on the background, Sir Justin is a life coach while Ms. Rhea is more on financial management. So let's see. And by the way, guys, no, for those who just tuned in, Sir Chandler, diba, they are a couple.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sir
so
Justin. Uh, how's the night for you? We hear that um you're also a streamer, a game streamer, sir.
Mm, I'd like to think I am. I
Okay,
have the
so
equipment, but I'm
yeah,
too. I'm not too. You know, I'm not really too excited about doing it now because of real life priorities and all that stuff.
okay.
Plus the things that I do in game are quite boring, so no one really likes to watch it.
how about
Okay.
Miss Rhea? What are your activities besides working as an instructor and doing
Yes.
vlogs?
Thank you so much for that, Miss Lai. So, before anything else, good evening, everyone, to those who are watching and listening to this very wonderful podcast. So, aside from teaching and doing my vlog and blog, basically, in a day, it takes up a lot of time for my work. So, other than that, I also play game, but not as extensive as my husband, Justin. And of course, taking care of the house, like the usual what a housewife would do, cleaning, some cooking, and that.
I'm a bit curious. Do you play together?
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes.
oh,
Yeah, he has his own genre of games. I'm more of the cute stuff, but we do play board games together if that is counted.
so
Who
you don't
wins?
play who wins?
Who
Yes.
wins most of the time? Oh, you.
Okay, so I think Sir Justin knows the basic rule of happy life.
Better
Happy
win.
life, happy
Happy
life,
wife,
happy
happy life.
wife.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why Miss Rhea always get to win during the games. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling. I think a lot of people are looking forward now to this conversation now between the four of us. So I can see a lot of friends out there saying hi. So for those who have questions, what shall they do, Mr. Villegas, sir?
Yes. Uh, this show is live, so we're encouraging all our viewers to comment in their questions if they have some, and we'll try to ask them to our guests and have them answer it as clearly as they could. So please comment down below your questions and even your greetings. Will be people will see. All right.
Yes, they are surely recognized, okay? And if we are also, just a heads up for those who are watching, if we plan on talking about a certain topic and and you're asking about it already, maybe we will be parking your questions so that it will be more exciting and it will really be, let's say, it will be more reliable. Our topics will be more interesting as well because we're going to address them in a proper order. Okay, so shall we begin the questioning? What a Miss Universe. Okay, so Sir Chandler, do you have any questions? What questions should we start asking? Sorry.
Yeah. So I think it's a question for both of you, whoever wants to answer. What's really the issue here? Are we? The question is, what motivates us? Is it money or passion? Is there a deeper issue to this? Uh, sure, Justin.
Well, well, right now we're in a pandemic, so you really can't afford to be not practical in the decisions that you make. So, um, a lot of people took the advantage na while unfortunately some of them lost their jobs, they, wanted to, they took it upon themselves to like pursue their passion. And as you can see sa news na to, over the past year, we've seen a lot of people na who were able to um not only survive but to thrive during the pandemic. But the misconception here is that buhat sa tanan.
Hmm.
It doesn't really they're not really thinking about what goes on behind the scenes bitaw. Like
Hmm.
they don't really go past the like they only look at the final product, they don't look at how it's actually made. Munang
Yeah.
dako nga
The
issue
process.
karon, so
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay, and how about Miss Rhea?
As a rejoinder to my husband, no, the pandemic really was a great equalizer for everyone, and it literally showed us in our face that many of us are not prepared. So many lost their jobs, businesses shut down, be it big ones or small ones. So to really experience that, it really made people realize how important money is. Diba? You might have already been working for the longest time, but then your job suddenly cut you off. Diba? And then we were not really thinking about the future, like what will happen. So we end up with no savings at all. And it was especially hard, labi na tong mga breadwinners of the family and those who really think that they are already secured with their current position. And with the pandemic still ongoing, there's still really no light at the end of the tunnel. We still are not seeing that. So it's best right now to be practical, because needless to say, we really need money. We really need cash, because other than that, I don't know how else we will survive, even if we are just here in Cagayan de Oro City, even though we rely most to our family members and friends, but they can only do so much, right? You really need to toil, excuse my French, to toil your ass and really earn for you to be sustained, most especially if you have a family that also needs you.
Yes. So somehow I feel that one thing that is nice about their points of view here is they're actually focusing at the present time. No, our current situation now is that we are facing a pandemic. So I hope that everyone agrees, the listeners and the viewers out there, that actually this is based on the context that we are in a pandemic. So it's not just a general point of view, no, na if walay pandemic, but we are actually trying to discuss what do we have to prioritize at the moment and which should we do more, no, or to, adhere more if we need to earn more or if we just pursue our passion since walay trabaho, walay buhaton, ana, no. So okay, I have a question here. No? You can also the both of you can answer this question. My question is actually, you really have to choose. No, I'll ask Sir Justin first. Do we really have to choose, Sir Justin, at this point?
Yeah, honestly speaking, you really have to choose between what you are going to do during the pandemic, but you have to ask yourself, will what you do or will what you choose be able to help you survive? Will it also help you thrive through the pandemic? It doesn't mean whatever it is that you want to choose is anything. We're not. I'm not undermining what it is that whatever it is that you want to choose, but it just boils down to how it can really help you down the line. Like my wife said, there's still no light at the end of the tunnel. Daghan pa kayo uncertainties karon. We're still 2 months into 2021. Daghan pa pwede may tabo. So you can't afford to gamble. Ano na lang.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
Miss
at
Lai,
this moment,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, before COVID, it seemed to be a really easy choice, right? For
Mm.
some people went for passion, some people chose travels over gadgets. It seemed to be an easy question, but it became more difficult once the COVID came in. Money seemed to be more important now. So, how is it? How is it that different right now, Miss Rhea? Let's start with you. Know, um, how is it? How is the need for money now different than what it was when we're pursuing money or whatever? Um, how is it difficult now, or how is it different now?
I really like that particular question simply because, as you've stated, no, prior to this pandemic, I mean, everything was easy. Like we can just easily travel. I mean, there were a lot of gigs, na ay mga sidekicks. There are a lot of freelancing stuff that you can do. I mean, the opportunities back then were many. However, now, because of businesses shutting down and some are still not, some industries are not yet open, most especially that involves tourism, travel, hospitalization industry, there were really bad news in which they shut down, they let go of a lot of people. So what's very different right now is there are a lot of people trying to find jobs. And these people that are finding jobs are also more than capable. Diba? they have all the work, the skills, and the experience. And here you are also finding and trying to get a job. So before, when employment rate in the Philippines, I think it's very less because there are only a few unemployed. Majority are fresh grads, right? But right now, the numbers are staggering that even the government really has a hard time finding jobs and opportunities for both skilled and unskilled workers. So the competition right now in trying to land a job is really so stiff. So murag people are climbing their nails up just to even land a job. So competition is high, and more so, some people would even settle for low paying jobs even though their skills and capacities are so great and at par, because they really have no choice. Either they get it or they starve to death.
Yeah, somehow I can feel that that part when Miss Rhea mentioned about people climbing. It's really that challenging lately, right? A lot of people are really finding a difficult time finding a good amount of money to raise and to feed their families. But for some who believe that they have certain skills and, let's say, talent, um, my question is for Sir Justin. For these people, they believe that this is the best time. I think this is an opportunity, especially for those who lost their jobs. This is the best time for them to invest on their skills, on their talent. But you also mentioned earlier that this is not the best time to, take or gamble, take bigger risks. So if you have a talent, my question is, if these guys have talents and skills but have difficulty finding or landing a job, should they pursue their passion or their skills? Right. Crafting, singing, being an artist. Like solely that road, not taking any particular job, because if nobody's going to take them in, so is it a good risk to follow that path and become an artist, become whatever you want at this point?
Grabe ka loaded nga question. So, let me put it to you in a little bit of context. So, 'di ba I mentioned earlier na back in the earlier during the crucial time of the pandemic, daghan kay mga stories nga started from the bottom, now we're here kato mga nawad-ag mga trabaho, ni asenso lang kinabuhi. And then
Yeah.
people think na ay kaya ra madini nato, magingani na to. I could pursue being an artist, I could pursue being a photographer, I could pursue being anything, what my passion or what my talent is. And siguro they thought na the pandemic would be a great reset point, a great restarting point kay wala kay na zero man
Mm-hmm.
tanan. Zero man,
Yes.
back to zero man tanan. So, basin lugar nga, nag-close nga business, ako yung opportunity nga mag-start sa kong own. But, my takeaway there is, daghan man good, it depends really on your passion, yun, on what it is that you really wanted to do, or where you find, okay, for me, ang good passion is something that you love doing. It's something that makes you happy. It's not necessarily about helping people, but it's um every time whenever you do this, murag, you feel energized, you feel the drive to pursue it bitaw. So siguro kung katong isa ka if I remember the story correctly, di lang ko sure silang profession, but they were earning six-figure income silang katong magigsuon. And then they all of a sudden nagka-pandemic, so they all lost their jobs. But ang core nila ato is they were able to start up their own restaurant or kanang mga food delivery business kay they found their grandmother's recipe for a special kind of food bitaw. So nikagat ilang business. So niano sila, so they were able to take in hundreds of orders per day, though deliver na sila. And then so like ingana lang bitaw nga ingana nga situation bitaw. So if you feel na what it is you can do can help you make money, siguro it's worth pursuing, but you also have to manage your expectations at the same time. Kay you never know nga ano, cause again, it's the pandemic. You don't really know unsay gadagan sa utok sa mga people who want your services or your products.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for that answer. That's very real talk, hashtag real talk, kisses are Justin on that part. Na it doesn't mean that's your passion and then we have a reset at the moment you pursue it. If it makes money, then do it. If it makes lugi, parang it makes you lugi and poor. Murag lisod sad. How about you, Miss Rhea? I think Sir Chandler would agree that uh, even if you have the skill, no, you have to really think more than twice, siguro. No, if you want to pursue something, because dili man siya sama sa giingon ni Sir Justin that dili siya assurance ba that your skill or your talent can bring money in. So since you are an investment, di ba, investment coach Gapon, for those people na walay savings, let's say people who lost their jobs, no savings, zero, but have skills. Do you think skills is enough or talent is enough as
O-
investment?
Okay, that's very tricky, no? Because more than anything, finding your passion and making it work for you, it doesn't happen overnight. Like, makaingon lang ka, like, okay, I'm very good with baking, so I'm gonna try if I'm gonna sell my cookies tomorrow. And you know what? Majority, most of the time, you will not really earn in like X number of days. I mean, it really takes a lot of effort. It really takes a lot of time, and it really takes a lot of you because you are the one, you are already self-employed because of your passion. Needless to say, you will really be pouring a lot of time almost every day beyond a normal employee would give to for a job, for example. 8 to 5 usually are the employees, but if you are an entrepreneur yourself, you will really pour in a lot of hours per day. And most often than not, no, if we tend to set our expectation and down the road it didn't come true, that kind of passion tends to tear us down. It will lead to discouragement and ana. But I really like the question. If you have the passion, let's say you really have that burning desire to start something and you are really confident that, hey, I can be able to pull this off, yet you have no savings to feed in or capitalize on that, then by all means, look look for the look for the F's, not the bad F, but go to family members whom you can ask loan. Ask for your friends if they can be able to help sustain or give you a runway of your business. And you can even ask some of your foe, your enemies or whatnot, if they can help you feed them. Because we cannot go to banks, diba? Not just to ask for loans and
Yes.
collaterals because again, you don't have a business yet, you don't have any collaterals to place. But yeah, you can always use other people's money in order to feed in or capitalize on your passion. So consider looking at your circle or in your circle and pitch the idea that, hey, I'll be doing this. I'm very good with it. Can you help me? Can you lend me some? Ingana. I think you can start from there. And it also is a good traction as well, most especially if you are sharing your passion with them. Like if you're into baking, ayaw lang sad pangayo o kurta para magpa-loan, tagaipod sila sa imong baked goods so that they can attest and review you as well. Nga, lagi ba, nindot kaayo, lambi kaayo, why not? Sige, tagaanta kayo ana. And then, of course, sa mga nangutang ha, do not forget to pay the debt. So do not ayaw abuta ang time nga ang imong friends maningil because you know what, there's a thin line between friends and money. You don't want to lose friends over money or over debt, so always be responsible with the loan, especially if it involves family and friends.
Okay. So,
Well said.
gwapo po to na point. Like,
Yeah,
right, Sir Chandler, it's a very good point. I was actually blown away, di ba? Blown away.
yeah. And
Were you?
that's correct, Miss Lai. I totally agree with Miss Rhea. No, it's not bad. Na kay utang. It's not bad to have debts as long as you can pay. You can pay on time. You can pay the right amount. No, most of the most successful businesses that are existing right now have actually a lot of debt, and I don't think it's a bad thing. No, you can. It's actually a method of just um, safeguarding your own resources, and you can run your business with the resources of other people as long as, well, you do it in a legal way, and that's the legal way of doing it, having debts. So I totally agree. And I think it's one of the methods that we use at these times, no? Nga nagka-COVID. So I think we've noticed in the news that the government has loaned out, no, have made available a lot of money for people to save their businesses. No, so um, it's a very valid survival method right now. No, so which also begs the question: no, is it um is it a valid passion now to be pursuing money, or pursuing in in finding the proper way of preserving money? Is that a valid passion right now, Ma'am Rhea?
You know what? Saving money is always valid. Because remember the quote, save money and money will save you. So needless to say, those people who were not able to save up money when pandemic hits, they almost
Mhm.
lost everything, or they lost everything because they didn't build up their emergency fund. So as a form of a background, emergency fund is like 3 to 6 months worth of your salary. So if your entire household has an accumulated or combined income, example, of 50,000, hence the entire 3 to 6 months worth, that should be around 150 to 300,000. So the family must have that accumulated much emergency fund. The reason being why we save up emergency fund is for any emergencies, hospitalizations or whatnot, or a person loses his or her job, at least the family will still be liquid for X number of months, in which they don't need to take out a loan just to sustain the lifestyle that they've been accustomed to. But you know what? Since the pandemic hit, many people, even financial advisors, told us that 3 to 6 months is no longer enough because, again, the pandemic already lasted for a year, right? They even stressed that an emergency fund for a household should already be 1 year's worth of accumulated income. So in ana na siya kadako. So I would really appreciate if you will already have the passion to save money as early as today if you haven't built up your emergency fund. And of course, there are a lot of ladders pamanggod sa fund, but a good way for you to start is to have an emergency fund in place.
Okay, so that was makapangato-tato no emergency fund. There's always an emergency, pero no funds. Now for Sir Justin, my question is that lately also no this pandemic, because of the loss of job, loss of opportunities, no. So when people lose their jobs, they also try to find new ones, but fail in acquiring one. I think one of the greatest siguro side effects, let's say, no, effects of this pandemic, aside besides job loss, um, are our mental health, no, depression and anxiety. It's been around, and I've heard from the news that there's been a couple of people nga commit negative suicide. No? People that lost their jobs. Kanang sa radyo, madunggan ginako. Um, how is it that do you think that the wrong life choices, no, especially during this time of pandemic, like wala nag-save, no, or ang giipon gigamble into something like a business and it didn't work. Um, do you think that the wrong life choices at this moment, are the ones that put us into depression and anxiety? And how do we get away from it, run away from wrong life choices in this situation?
Kani murag delikado rin nga delikado rin nga question kay basin ka pa na ako mga psych teachers man god. um in terms of wrong life choices, I really don't think there is such a thing. I would
Mm-hmm.
consider wrong life choices to be those that choices that would lead you to harm others or harm yourself. Kanara siguro. But if you were um, doing something to better yourself, even though you made the wrong choices, I don't really think those are wrong life choices. Um, for depression and anxiety, daghan circumstances man gud ana. Most of the time, um, depression, we, like you said, mental health issue man gud na ang depression and anxiety. Sometimes contributing factor ang mga societal um, contributing factors ang things that are happening in the society. And then sometimes, na ay mga naitabo na it would affect us one way or the other. Pero um in terms of suicides nga brought about by by this pandemic specifically, siguro it drove them into a depressive or an episode of anxiety. So ano lang, based on my psychology lectures, you're diagnosed with depression if you have consecutive months ni mo gakabati ang mga depressive symptoms, same for anxiety. So, and then if these symptoms affect your way of life, di na ka makatulog, di na ka makatrabaho tarong, then these are, you would be classified as depressed or, or anxious. But if you only experience the symptoms, in siguro within a short time frame lang bitaw, siguro episode ng tawag na mo ana. But that could be may basin mo correct sa kuana siguro diri sa chat. But siguro in a way losing their jobs, losing their businesses would be, kanang dako gid siya nga factor gyud for suicide, so to speak. My only advice there for people is to just go to talk to somebody about it. Daghan man gud na I've told this to my clients a lot over na it helps to talk to people. Bisakin sa lagod, it doesn't have to be someone nga higher than you. It could just be your friend, somebody you just need to vent to. Kaya you want people to hear what you're saying, you want people to understand what you're feeling, what you're going through, and then maybe relate to what it is you're going through. So, grabe ka unfortunate yung mga who took their lives due to the pandemic. Sakit po
Yeah.
to siya sakit po to siya nga nga pangitabo, because like my wife said, basin breadwinners to sila. They invested all of their money into a business, into a venture, tapos nalugi lang dayon. They feel na wala na sila paingnan ato after ana, so they lose all hope. You know they just give up right off the bat na dayon pa.
Yeah.
And then but we can't really blame them because basin lagi daghan pa the other factors involved. So we can never assume yun why,
Mhm.
or we can never really assume the context on why they committed suicide. Ano na lang.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much,
And
Sir Justin.
Miss Lai, I think it's a fair guess that money has something to do with it, no?
Yeah.
Because most of them have been laid off, no? So I think the immediate implication there is, well, ang ilang money nawala or ilang source of money
Mhm.
disappeared, no? So looking at your backgrounds as life coaches and financial coaches, si Ma'am Rhea sa iyang vlog Kuripot Pinay, you have a 52-week challenge of saving money. Can you tell us a little about that, Ma'am Rhea?
Yes. So the 52 weeks money challenge is a 1 year challenge, saving challenge. So 52 weeks is 1 year. So every
Mhm.
year you are going to spend, not really spend, but save money. But the question as to how much you are spending, nani siya yung mathematical equation. It's actually is an increment. So for example, if you decide for week one that you save 1 peso, the following week or week two, you are going to add another peso. So your total saving for that week is 2 pesos. Sa third week, you add another peso, so it will now become 3 pesos and so on until you finish the entire 52 weeks. So some people would opt for bigger increments. The reason being why, because the higher the increment, the higher will be their accumulated savings by the end of 52 weeks. So like us today, this year with my husband, our increment is actually 200 pesos every week. So week one, we save 200, week two, 400, week three, 600, and so on until we are going to finish, hopefully, by December, ending our 52 weeks money challenge journey for the year.
So, Ma'am Rhea, when you get to around siguro October, November, that's what? How many? That's around 4,000 per week na yun. 40 weeks, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. So for us, for the 200 pesos increment, no, there will come a time come November and December that we are going to save 10,000 and more every week. So no wonder it is called a challenge because it will become harder. But the beauty behind the 52 weeks money challenge is you get to do this at least 52 times, diba? You are going to save almost every week. And according to psychology now, when you are doing something for 21 times, it will now become a habit. So if you've already started saving, and even if you stopped at the 30th week because you already have a hard time saving money, if you have been continuously doing it almost every week, it seems that saving money will now become part of your system. Hence, it will now be easier for you to save because you have been accustomed to saving your money almost every week. So without any conscious thinking, especially if you have already programmed yourself to save on Friday, for example, every Friday you will really set aside a specific money just to save, even if it will not hit the amount requirement by the challenge. But the important thing is you save money.
So, what's your, for example, sige, we'll go with the 52-week challenge. What can you advise our viewers on the things that we should be sacrificing? What do we have to let go? Do we have to stop eating outside or ba?
Yes.
What can you advise us, Ma'am Rhea?
The very first advice is understand your why. It seems like we're going back to passion.
Yeah.
Because again, a challenge is very difficult, especially if you have not been accustomed to saving your money at all. So understand the reason why you are doing the challenge in the first place. What's the money for? Are you trying to save up for a car by the end of the year? Or are you trying to build up your emergency fund, the one that we've been talking about? Or are you just saving money because you want to buy something for your spouse or your kids in the near future? So first understand your why. The reason why is so you really have the sense of enthusiasm in yourself and the fire within that, hey, I need to save money because the money will go here and go here. Other things is there are things that you might need to give up, but whenever we work on money and expenses, always have that sense of needs versus wants. Always be conscious and asking yourself, if you are trying to buy this, is this a need or a want? So some people will say, hey, I need to eat food. By all means, that's a need. But eating food at high-end restaurants almost every week is no longer a need. That's a want, okay? Nanubra na nun ka, you are just trying to justify yourself that there's a need for you to eat, but eating at fancy restaurants almost every week is no longer a need. So always look at your expenses if it's a need or a want. So common questions between identifying if it's a need or a want. Gamay lang. First question, how did you survive until now without having that item? So if you think you need a gadget right now, so ask yourself, how did you survive until today without that new phone? Second, second question, um, what are the things that you need to give up in order to buy that? According to Rich Dad, Poor Dad mentality, no, it's not the question on how much is that, but the question is how can you afford that? So what would be the things that you need to give up in order for you to be able to afford that phone? Perhaps you want to dish away you always ordering online or whatnot. And finally, the third question that you need to ask yourself, aside from those things, the two things I've mentioned, is will it change your life for the better? Going back to the question, I need to buy a laptop. Okay, by all means, it's a need. But how will your laptop change your life? Will it add income to you? If you are using that laptop for a new freelance job in which it yields more income or cash coming in, by all means, buy it. It's a need. If you need an internet connection for you to do your passion or your gig online because you want to be a vlogger and you want to earn, by all means, that internet connection is not a want, but rather it's a need.
Okay. Okay. So one more question, Ma'am Rhea. What are the common mistakes that people make when they try to follow your challenge or try to just to save money? What are the common mistakes that people make?
Okay, first, poor mindset. That's really it. Like they already look at the table. Okay, we have bungo the template, like how much you are going to save for November or whatnot. And then they ask themselves, lo, dako naman kaayo aning sa October, November,
Yeah.
kay di ba mag-increment ba ya?
Uh,
So they give up. They didn't even start because they think it's already very hard. So that's a very bad mindset when it comes to money. Why would you just try it first, right?
mm,
Second, second mistake that they usually do is they really don't have the right fundamentals in terms of their passion. Because going back to the why you are doing the challenge, paano day sila nakiray dra sa uso nga, hala, pang New Year's resolution ako ni Bay, mag-save kog money kay 52 weeks. What? That's our resolution for the year. And then wala man din sila naka-ask silang self, why are they doing this? Nakisabay lang ba? So in the end, they falter and they fall. And finally, the last difficulty that they encountered is they didn't really prioritize savings because we Filipinos, whenever we get our salary, the usual equation is salary minus expenses equals savings. We saved what's left from all
yeah.
expenses. Good for you if you have any money left. But what if negative pa? Mas dako pa kag expenses kaysa imong salary. So needless to say, the proper equation should be salary minus savings, and what's left would be your expenses. So ana unta ang right equation to guarantee nga nagit kay savings.
Okay. So, at least no that Miss Rhea here already gave us the grabe na gito intensive na gito na tip no on how to really save what little or big amount of money we have no and what it is for. Now for Sir Justin, sir, um I always hear this especially from younger people no. YOLO,
Mm.
you only live once. At this point in time, no, since we are having a pandemic, dapat pa ba ta mag-YOLO pagyapon? YOLO pa pagyapon ta karon nga murag lisod man ang kinabuhi.
I mean, even before the pandemic, I was never really a fan of the notion of YOLO. Kaya it's very, it it drives you to be impulsive, manggod. I mean, just because you only live once doesn't mean na imo ning buhaton. It's very short-term thinking. Matod pa sa ako nakita nga post, life is short, so hutdan na ang mga tanan ko kay mong mainom as much as possible. So yun nga sense bitaw. So um for me, ang kanang nga mentality ng God is it doesn't really do you any good. It puts you in ano, for me lang ha, it puts you in a lot of harm. Kay, whatever it is, whatever it is that you plan to do, if you're driven by that mentality, you don't have the thought of ano, what happens next. Ana bitaw. Murag imo ra bitaw kay you just went from point A to point B, and then wala bitaw kay plano sa buhaton bitaw dayon. For example, katong mga common nga, again, common kani sa amon nga batch ni Chandler nga as soon as he graduate og high school nang lupad to Manila, to
Mhm.
Cebu, to ano lugar kay I know nga they went to school, pero ano ba nga katabi bitaw nga when we had the discussions bitaw for katong mga career days bitaw nato nga ano nga gusto sila ingani. I had ano nagay mga batchmates nato nga they really intended to ano they really intended to go to outside Cagayan de Oro para lugar ano ba to experience a new way of life bitaw, so to speak. Pero kana siya nga ingana nga mentality is kana may tawag it's driven by goal naman good. Kung imo nang if you put that into ano lugar, kung i-YOLO situation nimo na, mura bitaw nakamata ka alas 6 sa buntag, ay moadto kog Manila karon kay dato na ko magpuyo. So, you bought a ticket, you boarded the plane, you undergo kag COVID, and undergo ka og kanang quarantine. 2 weeks later, pagawas sa quarantine, ay mo na is what happens next? Kung sa what dayon? Unsa na nila nanam ko diri sa Manila. So, kana nga mentality is really there's no afterthought bitaw. So, again, dili kay I really ano bitaw well, hate is a strong word but ano bitaw.
Don't
Naka
encourage.
oh, di na ko siya encourage gyud.
Yes.
So na kanang glorify kanang naman siya kay people think of YOLO man good as a glorified leap of faith bitaw.
Mhm.
Mura man na
True.
siya. When the difference is a leap of faith is you take the leap knowing ano without knowing if it may or may happen, but you still take it. But kay imo namang yun na dayon. Kay let me put it to you this way, if you again common gyapon kani sa among nga batch ni Chandler gyapon nga nakagraduate ag college nang lupad og Manila kalit ang mga ano ka batch
Mm.
katong mga nasa Manila nanguli og Cagayan, ang katong mga nag-eskwela Cagayan ngadtog Manila. Kay mo naman ang ilang mo na lang kumbaga kind of leap of faith but their attempt lugar at being independent, being adults, and that's okay. Kay ano naman na they put some thought into it. Kay they went to Manila nga with the intent of looking for a job, and siguro naswerte ang uban kay nakapuyo og family dadto, or for the very fortunate few na nakabalay na dadto. Ano so kaya ba so they can take the leap bitaw. Whereas kung if you put that into a YOLO context, niya to kag Manila, na wala ka kabalo sa buhaton. So mura na siya.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Thank you.
And it
Yes.
can mislead. It can turn out to be very expensive if you fail your YOLO, no? So it can
Yes.
hurt your savings. Wala, impas imong how many weeks of saving. So, Sir Justin, I just like to ask, no, if following that train of thought, ba, nga, YOLO, follow my passion. How do we know that if we're trying to follow our passion and it's not really working out? When do we stop? What do we look for when it tells us stop
Yeah,
doing
the
this?
red
It's not
flags.
good for you, or it's costing a lot of money. So, what are the indicators for that, Sir Justin?
Daghan caveat ana no. Let's say you have the passion to let's say um di lang ta mag-name og company di. Let's say your passion is to establish a Malagar coffee and tea place lugar, lugar.
Mhm.
So you took the necessary training, you learned everything you needed to know, you secured the best products, you built up the platform, you built up your store from the ground up, and then siguro if one of the red flags for you to kanang down the line if you feel na ano na there's something wrong going on na, one of the biggest red flags is burnout.
What
Common kay
does
na sa
burnout look like, Sir
burnout
Justin?
is kana bitawng wala na ka nang ano na bitaw, you're grabe na kay fatigue na mentally fatigue na bitaw kay ka sa imong gabuhaton. Like even though nga it's your passion bitaw ganahan kay kaani, let's take it out sa coffee business. So even if imong passion kay magdulag video games or mag um let's say mag go to the gym kada ingana bitaw passion nimo na. But if mentally tiring mentally ano na siya sa imo, exhausting na bitaw kay siya sa imo, then that
Mhm.
would be a time to take a step back. One of the biggest mistakes people make, Manggod, is once they feel burnout with their passion is they put a complete stop to it. Di na muundang na sila diretso. Ilang mind is ano na ba? They set themselves up to fail na bitaw kay they think na ay di man ni para sa kuwag gikapoy ra man ko kanang ingana ba. So without knowing passion like most other activities in life will always take its toll on you, be it physically, mentally, or emotionally. Again, the body can only take so much. So if if your passion is running a business and then you work 18-hour days, 4 hours sa kagakatulog, then of course that's gonna take the fucking life out of you.
Okay.
Patay gi kay ka ana.
Yes.
Oh, so even if your passion is into investing, trade kag stocks, you're making a lot of money, pero imong gabuhaton is kanang dako imong ginawalgas ba, imong ginaput into the into the activity without nang kaya lagi nako ni kanang complacent na kaayo. So murag so bring kanang mga burnout and kanang bitaw kanang walay afterthought into what you're doing to yourself ba. Munang kay again passion biya kay gasalig ang tao nga it's passion is gives you the energy to do things but sometimes it doesn't. Mura na.
Okay.
Yes.
Question,
And
Sir Justin. One more. Um, it sometimes people are having a difficulty of identifying what their passion really is. No.
Mm.
So do I really have to be good at it for it to be a passion, or can it be something bisag dili ko maayo with that? It can be a passion and it can be something that I can be pursuing.
On the topic nga you have to be good at it. No, you don't.
Okay.
Again, very common misconception na siya. Just because you're passionate something, expected na nga kablo na kaani. So, what people don't realize is passion just doesn't really passion involves doing things that makes you happy, that makes you feel content, that makes you feel fulfilled. Ano lang ba? So, even if kanang mag-color-color lang ka, kanang sa itong mga stress relieving coloring books, if it makes you happy, if it's something that you look forward to, then of course that's already a passion in itself na. While of course you can't make money out of it, but you can it can bring you it can affect your mental health in a positive way. On the topic of not being good at it, you can always this is where the tricky part comes in, because if you really want to pursue that something that you're not good at, then you have to invest time and maybe money into being better at it. So for example, if gusto ka imong passion is mag video games and then you want it to be profitable, so of course mag-stream ka, and then you have to think about what you need to do to really become a good streamer kumbaga. So for me on my end, I gave up streaming because I don't really di kay ko ganahan being in front of a lot of people kadang ingani bitaw. Most of it na not very introverted kay ko sa stream, so di kay ko ga-converse. So you really have to work on something, and it was something that I was really working on, planning on pursuing. Well, I do have the equipment, so again, ang kining equipment case only has turned into for work na. So again, it's worked out for the better. So yeah, it's about if you feel na you're not good at it yet, but you feel na you want to be good at it, then by all means, then pursue it.
okay, so does that mean, Sir Justin, that passion doesn't really mean that it's something that you're good at it to the point that you make money out of it.
Mm,
Kaya di ba murag ing ana man na
mm.
some misconceptions I think no some misconceptions I think is that when you are good at something, you pursue it because you can even make money out of it. No? So, sayop na siya, sir.
Sayop na nga mentality.
Kaya naman
Not really sayop na mentality, but more on very faulty way of thinking na siya, if ever. Dako
okay,
kay
so murag,
mura siya ano, you're it's like you're putting yourself into a trap na bitaw without knowing it.
okay.
Mura kagakalot og bangag bitaw without knowing nga unsa nga how to get out of it.
Lagi kay mo ng as far as I can remember, no, I in every conversation that I hear about how to make money, how to make money. So they always and also in some articles, no, in some blogs, they always tell you think of what you love doing. No? So when you love what you do and then you try to make money out of it, then parang bitong they're suggesting that it will turn out fine. Right? It's always the brighter side that they tell you. No? They do not tell you that you can get burnt out, pwede pud kasumhan sa imong gibuhat maski pagganahan ka ana, no? And that can stop you from earning. So munang daghan ma-discourage in the long run, no? Pero I'm surprised because as far as I know, a lot of people still choose to follow their passion. And because they say that it can really make them happy and it also brings them money, 'di ba? Kaya pa yung mga ingana ba so mo to siya no at least naingon nga not all the things that you're passionate about no can bring you money. Na magiban na kanang pagtukod og coffee shop kay kanang ganahan kikag kape. Di ba? Mahilig ka mga piso kanang balag di ka barista since you know the taste of coffee, um, you know what a good coffee is. It's what you love to drink. So why not come up with a coffee shop? Yung mga delikado na mga ingana, sir.
Kana delikado kay na siya nga nga na also a very ano, I like to use this word a lot. Grabe ka faulty logic bitaw. Kay dili pasabot nga again katutsada katong example imong gibuhat katong mahilig kay kape. So imong passion kape pag open na coffee shop. Ang dili kay na siya dili siya kanang grabe ka bitaw layo ra kaayo sa tinuod bitaw ganahan man kog kape dili I don't have the capacity to set up a business to do it to start a coffee business. Swerte na lang siguro kung ako I come from a very well-off family nga igor ako moingon sa mag-open kog coffee business ugma sige hatag dili sa kwarta. But no, I think at the bottom part of it is if daghan tag gusto buhaton man god, daghan tag from the personal side of things, daghan kitag gusto buhaton like for example, I'm sure si Chandler ganahan kog basketball, ganahan og NBA. Pero wala makagadungog siya, wala makagadungog siya nag-ingon nga gusto niya pildiyon si
Magtugtog
LeBron
team.
James. 'Di ba?
Tanaw lang ko taman, sir.
Tanaw ra taman. Pero that's the point. That's the point is kanang when people single-minded ang ubang tao. So just because they like basketball doesn't mean that they have to become a basketball player to fulfill the passion or to link to what they're doing. They could write about it, they could blog about it, and I've seen one of the good example is it's not meant to advertise but one of the blogs for boxing is Bleacher Report. It started out as a boxing blog, pero it grew into a huge multi-million-dollar company that covers a lot of sports na dayon. So ako point ana is people just think nga one-sided na kayang thinking sa tao but they don't really go into to explore bitaw the other facets of what it is that they want to do.
Yes,
So
that's
kung
correct.
nga na So
Kay mo na
kung
ako madungduman madunggan man gud usually. Unsa may akong buhaton na negosyo, unsa man imong ganahan? Di man ko talented. So unsa lagi imong kun wala kay talent, wala kay skill. Buto sige kung inom og kape. Memorize na gyud akong mga lain-laing kape sa kuan. Pagtukod na lang og kapihan kay kamao ka unsay difference in every coffee. Nga sorry kay sa mga sorry kay sa mga naigo guys, pero I'm sorry dili mo pwede magbuhat-buhat basta-basta. Nga na di na no. How about si Miss Rhea? What are your thoughts on this, Miss Rhea, na can you actually kanang in terms of sa kanang field of investment, no? Is it a good investment to invest on something that you feel not even skill wise na, no? Kanang something that you're very interested. Like I'm so interested in fashion, but I don't know how to design. I don't know how to so pana din ha, no, na anything that's connected to the fashion industry. But I really like watching ana. So medyo taphaw lugar ang imuhang ano to ana imong idea lugar of how what and how fashion is. So safe ba na siya financially, no? Will you
Okay,
really
so
earn, recover? So pa ba?
the reason being why people would like to pursue their passion is that katong because it's doing something you love, right? So I think you will already have an easy path in doing things, and it will keep you really motivated to do it because in the first place you like what you're doing, right? I mean, it doesn't feel like you are working because you really love what you're doing. So maora mong gud na ang no wonder people would always want to pursue their passion because it feels like you're not working at all because you like what you're doing. I mean, you wake up every morning, you're excited to wake up to pursue your passion, and then there's a certain kind of light that you tend to beam out. But then again, no, there are only a few percentage of the population who really were able to capture both passion and money at the same time. So, kung ato pa nag i-graph no mathematical, if this is the passion circle and this is the money circle, kanang area nga nag-combine sila together, I mean, it's only achieved by a few of us. Kay kung passion is enough to steer in money, kortahan na siguro kay tang tanan, di ba? Because I am most certain in our lives as we grow up, um there were a lot of stops in our lives that we identified that hey, this is my passion, I want to do this. I mean, the fire in you is there, pero nga no nang wala man gud ta ni pursue nga no amang puta na dato sa isang iglap lang because of that thought alone. So pursuing your passion, if you really want to yield money out of it, I mean, it really takes a lot of time, effort, understanding, knowledge, even in the concept of investment, diba? So going back to the question, if you are into investing, especially if we have stock investors here watching and listening us, even the process of picking the right stock that you want in your portfolio requires a lot of understanding and passion on that product. Igon pa nila always buy stocks of products that you want to buy as a customer. So if you decide to buy a stock of this particular company, make sure na ikaw mismo, you are patronizing it. You are buying it. You are always looking out for it in supermarkets or whatnot because that signifies your passion and your loyalty for that product. So if you are into fashion, you really want to because you think you can be really good at it, even if you learn it, no? It would also be very important to not only look at the passion instead, but look at the nitty-gritty details of the things you need to exert in order to put it up in the first place. Ang nakanindot lang, if it's coupled with passion, then going back to my statements before, you will not feel like you're working. Bahala, you will not feel nakapuyan ka. You will not feel that you want to sleep because you're always so excited in doing stuff because you love what you're doing. But then again, it will now be different if you want to start a business out of it. I mean, I for one really want to go. I really have a lot of businesses that I want, but then again, going to the nitty gritty details of building up a business from the ground up is another story that I don't like. So, I mean, that would now be another ball game that you need to look at because again, passion can only take you so far. Chances are you will get burnt out, but should that happen, as what my husband, Sir Justin, said, just take out yourself from that circle. Do not completely put a stop. Just just look, go out from the circle, discern, pray, think it over again so that you will identify if the fire is still there. And once you have even that small spark, then get back yourself in the circle. Ba? Yan naman na siya. In all process, even in relationship, right? I mean, it's not always a walk in the park, no matter how much you love the person. This is not about my husband, okay? But it's not always a walk in the park. There will always be bumps along the road, but you don't always have to break it up because you don't like the person anymore, diba? You just need to take a step back, discern, ask the reason, why are you doing this? Why do you love him? Why do you love doing this thing? And once you have your answer, then get back yourself in. Immerse, diba? Ana ra siya.
Okay. Sakto si Miss Rhea, no? Doesn't you just need to step back and not really remove yourself, especially paabot sa relationship, char. My question for Sir Justin, sir, kanang is it really enough to be happy? Di ba kay ang uban mingon na okay, I don't really care about money. I'm not saying that if I pursue my passion, I want also to have a lot of money. So napay uban nga ang importante happy ko. Is being happy really enough?
Mm, very tricky. Very, very tricky. Kay, there's nothing wrong with being content with what you have as long as you know what it takes for you to survive and what it takes for you to thrive. Siguro, from what you're doing, if it's okay to think you don't need 1,000,000 pesos every month to live happily. So, siguro as long as you love doing what you're doing, it puts money on the table, and then it helps you. It puts money on the table, it puts food on the table, makatabang og save sa imo, then by all means, it's perfectly fine to think that way. It just boils down to, managing your expectations. I know some people man going to thinking think nga their passion particular passions are, very lucrative. For example, again, I really go into video games because it's a passion of mine, but you don't see me making money out of it. But my point is, over the past few years, we've read about athletes earning millions of dollars. 3 years ago, we've had that 13-year-old teenager who won Fortnite tournament and got himself $20 million for 13 years old. Chan, pila tong kwarta na, Chan? 13 years old ta.
Pamasahe lang, Sir Justin. Just
Pero imagine ba, 13 years old, millions of dollars yung nakita. And then people assume na jump into thinking undan ako trabaho, mag-practice ko ani nga venture kasi I am gonna make $1 million. Pero going into competitive esports lugar, sa 100% sa population, only the 1% are considered the elite, or those that are really, you have to strive to get into the 1%. Dili pasabot nga mayo ka nga dula doesn't mean nga guaranteed na imong milyones. There's also, people don't look into the business aspect of the esports, cause ang ilang na kay ang ilang na kay magdulaay na sila dutan, di maayo na sila kadaog na sila $1 million. Pero they're not thinking about the people na they have actual professional staff coaching the team. They spend 10 hours a day playing, pero it's not about playing agad enjoy sila. It's already work for them. And then outside sa 10 hours, they also put in hours to stream. Kay of course, dama silang kwarta diha. So, daghan kay mga misconceptions anang just because ako ning buhaton ako ni kay it put kay dako kay ni kwarta. That's a very That's a very, you know, a fucked up way of thinking, so to speak. Kay you're ano ba, kay you don't really imo ra bitong kita na ang here into here without knowing wala na kalitan-aw sa in between ba. And I think one of the for people na who are really who are one of the few people who succeeded in pursuing their passion is probably Elon Musk.
Yeah.
What over the past few years he has been very passionate about putting people on Mars to the point nga he created SpaceX, he created several technology to help him reach that goal. And then what people don't see is the hard work is the work that he puts into the process. He spends according to my wife and I just watched a biopic of SpaceX not too long ago. Sa sa Tesla company he spends only a few hours running the business, mga 2-3 hours siguro. But on SpaceX he's there for 12 to 16 hours sa office. Because it's really what he does, he is what he really wants to do. And then people might argue nga, okay naman na siya, ka-afford na siya mag-stake, na naman siya millions of dollars. Siyang bank account, pwede naman siya nga dili matulog, kwarta lang gyud siya. Pero what people don't take away from it is kwartahan na siya. They don't really take away nga dako kay ang work nga iyang ginaput into something that he's going after. And daghan kayo siya daghan kayo siya mga heartbreaks along the way nga that would have stopped other people from doing it. Siguro from if other people did that, nag-crash ilang spaceship, there's okay, i-shut down na ni nga company kay di na ni worthy ni useless na ni. But Elon Musk crashed a lot of ships. Dagan kay siya na waldas. He was even came to the point nga hapit na siya ma-boot out sa Tesla kay he's losing a lot of money. But he was really insistent. He was really persistent about getting that accomplishing that feat bitaw. And siguro I'm not saying nga kitang tanan kay gusto mo adtog Mars, but it's just the idea nga there's the pursuit bitaw. He's not stopping at any time bitaw. So that's what people are not seeing when it comes to pursuing the passion. Where also another good example are the video game streamers kana makita sa Twitch. For example, PewDiePie, Asmongold, daghan kina sila. Any given day they get about 3,000 viewers. They siguro sa nga they earn millions of dollars a year for streaming. People just see it at the surface level. Ga-stream sila, they're playing video games, they're making money, mura na ilang gabuhaton, I should do the same. Pero they don't really wala nila nakita ang hard work of building the stream itself ba. They invested time, they invested money, they really invested they even risk their own mental health, so to speak. And daghan na kaayo streamers karon, especially a few people nga that I followed who took their lives a couple of years ago kay ginabully sila sa stream. They put themselves at risk ba. So people surface level thinking na kay mga tao when it comes to thinking about their passion.
Yeah. I think they do, dili mura bitaw og passion isn't really something fleeting. It's something na it doesn't really have to burn ito ba kanang so Jesus. Sorry kaya sa intense pagkuan sa dog na siya din may papakita na lang tikabi kina naman yung kana abawaan na nila nga ay saba. It doesn't have to be show your dog contest. Kadang it doesn't really have to burn like kind campfire, but so long as na a small spark like what you mentioned earlier, as long as it keeps on burning, I think mo gina siya magmatter in terms of passion, no. a little sharing lang siguro. Even this one, no, as the Gen Y. Uh, for those who do not know, we are not monetizing, so there's no money in this. But um, the sponsors that we have are actually kanang family and friends, no, and they are just people that we talk to and then who find the idea nice and good, so they're the ones that support us, no, so if we need something, we try to reach out so that we get the support. So there's really no monetization like ningon ka nga kwarta out of this, no. But it's one thing na we're trying to really work on, no, because there's something na goal na mo, no, something that we really want to work out in the future. That's why maski og mo take siya og time, ulaw mo duol og tao, because it will really take time also, no. We will also take the person's time, but we muster up our courage because na something no na ay good na among nakita out of doing it. And na din uban mo dili mo tuo nga kanang ay kuan naman mo na kanang sayo na kana magatubang-atubang og camera mag-stereo dayon ana, no. But moingon og uy di sila maulaw ano buot sila ana, but what they do not know is really putting up the hard work. There are even times na mag-message ko kalit sa ako mga kauban na at 3 in the morning kay makamata ko. Kay nana ko mauna-una na idea. And like what Sir Justin said, it will really take a toll on your mental health kay para ana, no. If instead nga matulog ka, ma-excite ka over something or naay mo abot sa imong una-una, mo matago sa imong self, but you really need to spill it out para ano, feeling nimo it will sustain ba. Or else kay imo siyang i-keep basi malimtan na nimo and that thought could have helped, no. So kuan gid kaayo, I think muna siya ang isa ka thing pud about passion, which other people truly do not understand. It's not fleeting. Now before we kuan no end, I will show some mga quotes and then just give your thoughts on the quotes that I will present. If it's a good one or forget about it. Ayan. Sige, let's see. Happiness is not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort.
Yes, I agree. Like, agree with kay Kwan. Because again, if you notice, no, money is currency, right? And currency is current. So, much like electricity, passing ra na siya. Ang kwarta mo labay lang. But how are you spending your money? If it adds fulfillment, if it adds purpose to you, then by all means, that's really what the money is for, right?
Okay, how about Sir Justin? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Not really, no.
Okay, sige, next. Hindi siya mo next. Next na besh. There. I'd rather be a failure at something I love than a success at something I hate.
Oh, Mr. Justin.
Mm, daghan kay ni conditions actually. Again, pandemics, it doesn't really, if you, I don't really see how it came to a point na you're succeeding at something you hate. Like, why are you still pursuing something if it gives you a headache? Mura na ang akong concern, kumbaga.
Yeah, and why are you
Mm.
successful in that if you hate it? I mean,
Lagi,
success
why,
as an indicator is yourself, right? So it's your own metric.
so why did you, if you, kung, unless it's school, why did you put immense effort into something that you hate? Kumbaga.
Like, I hate school, so di kay ko ge-effort. So, wala nag-Leonor. Basta kay
Pero first
Mako.
honor
Kasi,
siya. Pero first
si Chandler naman honor section diri oy. Matod matod pa sa ko uncle unsaon man
That
nang
was a
sobra.
long time ago, Sir Justin.
Matod pa sa ko uncle
That
unsaon
was
man
how
nang
many
sobra.
years?
Mo gyud. So, then succeed.
Yeah.
Sa school na rin mo apply first honor for I hate school. Okay, di ikaw
Oh,
nang bright. Ano?
ikaw na.
Tama na ko first year honor section.
Ikaw nang bright you succeed at something you hate. Next. Look, you can't plan out your life. What you have to do is first discover your passion, what you really care about. Amot ni Barack Obama nga nang high press, ah. Feeling close. Ano yung muning gisulti press? Unsay context ani?
Bawsay context ni
Huh?
Mr. President.
You
But
can't plan out.
yeah, but I think I mean, yeah, I mean, you don't wake up, di ba, one day and then, I mean, the moment we were born, even our parents don't know what our passion is, right? So I think it's more of a self-discovery thing in which I really need to discern and meet with yourself, meet with yourself, and look at what will really drive you. What will you do something that you love? What's really that spark that will now turn into a fire and will continue to burn and not burn out you. So that's your passion. But I think you can't plan out your life. I mean, every decision in our lives, it's always a conscious one. So I mean, with all our brains and neurons and whatnot, we are always conscious in our life choices. What you can change is the circumstance that you're in. But how will you move forward? Because we've heard stories of people who had, of individual who has bad childhood, who was into poverty, yet they succeeded in that, even at that circumstance. I mean, they emerged winners, they emerged successful, and in turn helped more people. So, but how did they get there? It was always a constant battle and choice of their lives that they don't want to stay in that circumstance. They want to get out of it. So it also takes a lot of planning as to how will they get out, how will they change their lives for the better. So I think it's a mix of planning your life and of course that self discovery part of your passion.
Okay, sige. Thank you, Miss Rhea. Next, let's see. Wala na sa si next. Money is numbers.
Before that, I
Yes.
have a question.
Sige, sige. Go ahead.
Yeah. Um, just, just in connection to the previous slide, as life coaches, would you advise some people, because some people our age still haven't discovered what their passion is. So I hope it's still okay. Is that okay that we don't? Some of us don't know what our passion is, and what can you suggest that we do to discover? Just in connection to that previous slide,
Di mo ka na ikaw.
anyone?
You're not referring to yourself, right? Or you're referring to yourself, person who walay passion.
Asking for a friend lugar.
I could be. I could be. I'm asking for a
Um
friend.
Dili not necessarily just because you don't have you're not passionate about anything doesn't mean your life is meaningless. Ana na lang. It's just that you don't ano, wala pa lang hindi mo na siya nakita gyud. I mean, well, who's to say nga tama na di ka 35 mo mo survive or tama na di ka 40. And even sa
Right.
I know nga given sa tong mga retreats nato sa atong high school is even our we were also told nga it's okay to to find the things that you love to do. There's no rush ba. And
Right.
mura mo ang safe sa tao gud gadali sila permi. O
Like to
itaw,
become
laka, mag-40 na ko, wala pa ko'y passion. Nag-ingana nga ano bitaw, so
mas dapat mabalakan na og 40 niya wa pay kwarta. May ipon.
kana inoon, laipon kana.
That's a very valid one here.
Wala nag 40 way passion basta di lang maabot og 40 way ipon.
Yeah.
Pero ingana siya nga ano, it's that kind of ano bitaw. I don't know, daghan naman ko kaayo, glorified naman ko kaayo mga tao good nga mga ano, to ano ba kanang mga success bitaw sa mga tao bitaw, to the point nga nga when you compare yourselves to them, aga may kay mga achievement. For
Right.
example,
Right.
I know daghan sa tong batch nga mga musicians chan, di ba? Mga kakanta-kanta, nga na.
Mhm.
Pero daghang pugog nabasa sa ila when katubi tong anak ni Pacquiao kay nag-release og rap music niya. Katubi tong ano, unya ni sikat siya kalit.
Michael.
O
Oo.
kato siya. O
Michael.
kato siya. The argument there is katong ano ni enter siya into music, passionate siya into music tapos ni asenso siya. People ang natanaw sa people is that anak man na si Pacquiao. Daghang man na siya connection. He paid his way to success tapos sa kita nga indie struggle ra ta nga magtukar sa backyard sa una ingana bitaw. And I mean it's a valid point pero again daghan kay siya ano ba over glorified bitaw kay mga tao bitaw nga mag ano nga who succeeded bitaw. Napatoy isa ka tao nga isa ka post sa US man to gipost akong kauban sa dula is 21 years old pa sila nga couple pero nakapalit nag multi-million dollar house. Tapos sila nang gi-ask kay what did you achieve at 19? Na din itubag nga ano nga I just spent $3.50 to uncover the realty listing and found out that your father actually paid for the house.
Oh. So dili
So dili
Sure.
lang hago ba? So
Okay.
you don't people don't have to fall into the trap nga passion is all about success.
Yeah.
Dili siya necessary nga if you're passionate about it dako siya kwarta nga mag ano nga bring to the table. Ako gali passionate ko about video games, ano di man ko professional video game, ano di man ko professional sa gamer. So, ina na bitaw. I mean, people just have to stop associating passion with success, anara.
Okay.
Yes. Mo nga na usually no ang kuan gyud pinakadako nga pressure sa mga tao ba like sa ako arts, music and arts gyapon pero di mo ko sikat. Well, pero hindi na ako ginaingon pud na, di ba, chance na kanang sus kung nagtarong ako training sa una siguro ano na siguro ko karon nag-singer na ko karon or kanang nga na ba because you feel like even if you like the you like singing like ako I like singing I like painting I don't see it as something that I am good at because people label you as a good singer or as a good artist kapag ilado ka pag people patronize you. Di ba pwedeng ikaw lang mo patronize sa imong self na since you are happy, no, making yourself happy with what you are doing, that's enough, I think. That should be enough. Luoy kita nga, wala tayo dagan kwarta, hindi na nalagay din ta, ano, pwede mag-passion. Hindi na siya makuhan. Okay, so next slide, let me see. So, there. Money is numbers, and numbers never end. If it takes money to be happy, your search for happiness will never end.
Wow. Ako agad siguro nino. Well, just like the movie Three Idiots, I mean, what the actor there really instilled to us viewers is pursue excellence and money will come right after. I mean, if you are excellent at what you're doing and if you're really good at it, I mean, there will come a time that people will really find you, pay you just to talk, TED Talks lang nga level, because they really want to hear your story and because they want to learn something from you. I mean, the key here lang is sometimes money does not equate to happiness, right? Even if you have like 7 digits in your bank account, I mean, it doesn't always translate to happiness. More often than not, some people who have big money tends to have big debts as well. They tend to lose sleep because they want to find out how to better secure their money, how they can earn more. I mean, the mental toll is taking over them to the point that in the future their kids will be fighting over their properties and whatnot. I mean, that's often the case, right? So the thing is, I mean, money doesn't always equate happiness, but if you are earning money because you found there is a need, like you are solving a problem of the society, your business is trying to address something, and the country needs you for it, and earning money, and yet you are earning money, that's already a bonus, right? Like, katong similar sa atong gipakita ganina, if you are earning money from your passion, then by all means, congratulations. I mean, not many people are there pursuing their passion while they're earning money. So always find your purpose, because in the end, when you are earning money and there was really a purpose why that money is for you, you will feel contented. You will feel satisfied that you're earning that money. And mauna ang money nga imong i-feed sa imong family because you are more than proud of earning it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rhea. Betal, tog na pa ba? Ay, pangit to. This one. People say, I want to be rich. Wala man siguro wala ni ingon ani, no? At some point. Kaya naman yung nga kontento naman ko sa kong life. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? So, tinuod, no? Agree
Yes,
ko, ani.
because yes, because I think it has been demonstrated over and over again. People at the outside will always look at the tip of the iceberg. That's your success, but they don't know what's beyond the iceberg that caused the Titanic to sink. So they didn't see the kind of effort you poured in, the number of sleep that was lost in the process, as to how you were able to get it. And I think some entrepreneurs, you are seeing their success right now, but more often than not, they have sacrificed a lot. They have lost relationship, they have cut off ties with friends. I mean, 'di ba? I mean, sakit kayo siya nga process, but I think it's also fundamental that people will not only look at the tip of the iceberg, but they will also dig deeper as to what was the cost of you being there.
Okay. Method na ano na pa ba? Parang wala na. Yun lang na siya, so parang wala na. Sige, kayo na ang last. To get rich, you have to be making money while you are asleep.
That's true. I mean, we, especially our generation that were almost in our 40s, right? Ouch. I mean, for the longest time, we have been working for money, but I think now is the time to let our money work for us. So, if I will share the Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, Charles. Technical kayo, upat na siya nga quadrant, no? First is you become an employee, which I think many of us are. Next is you become self-employed. So katong may mga passion, mauni siya inyong quadrant, self-employment, you're doing something to earn money. Next is you build a business. Sa building a business, you don't need to do the baking because you already have a system in place that you hire people to bake and to sell and whatnot. The last quadrant is you to become an investor. This is where you will now let your money work for you. So how do you invest? There are a lot of options. I will just tell you a few, not naming any companies, but you can always go to your nearest bank and ask for investment options like mutual funds, get your insurance in whatever companies you prefer, and really cultivate the notion on how you can better equip your money. Like, how can you build up your money even if you are not working to get that money? So more than opening a savings account, that's already an investment I will say, but the yield is lower. So find wheels or vehicles that can yield better returns every year. And to date, there are already a lot of options that you can choose from.
Okay. So thank you so much, Miss Rhea. Now, Sir Chandler, happy to kita mag 2 hours.
Yeah.
What are we gonna
Uh,
do next? So, muna tayo sa
yeah.
slides,
So
no?
I
So,
guess at the end of it all, no, I think it's all about balance, and we want to hit that sweet spot in between where how we use our time. Do we go for the passion of it all, or for just for the money, or do we need the passion? Do we need the money to pursue our passion? So where do we, as life coaches, we want to ask you, how can we get into that perfect balance where we are able to pursue both? No?
or
So yeah,
is there
anyone
is there a perfect
suggesting, Ma'am
balance at
Rhea?
all, or di gid siya
Yeah,
madalag
is there a
balance?
balance at all?
Well,
Mm,
there,
May sacrifice ba nga isa or unsa?
okay. As someone who hasn't even reached that sweet spot, I mean, I would be more than happy if I mean, I am passionate with finance, personal finance. But at the moment, even if I have my YouTube channel, which hopefully people will subscribe right after I'm shamelessly plugging it, I'm still not earning from it, no. But I'm really, really very passionate about it. So I think the first thing you need to do is bear in mind that even if you love what you're doing, even if you have a passion, you you will still spend on it. Be it time, spend your money. Okay, I would have to say is for you to personally reach that. I mean, do not give up your current lifeline of income. So if you have a job, yet you do understand that this is something that you don't want to do anymore, just do not resign immediately. I mean, you need to make sure to have your savings in place and consider your passion as a side hustle first. Like test the waters. Like do it on the weekend. Or I know you are working 8 to 5. Why not do it before your work proper or after your work proper? So at least you can be able to gauge how well people will accept or embrace your passion. If you think now that side hustle has already reached to a level that it already is equal to your current income or more, then by all means cut your employment or your first source of income. But at least by that time, there's already that the wheel of your passion is already turning and you already have that sense of return. May pumapasok na pera. Mas malaki pa sa kinikita mo as an employee, right? So now it would be the perfect time for you to go full time. But at least if you are still concerned with how much you are earning, really do it slowly. Okay? Just do not say that you will resign right now because you love doing this and that. I mean, you need to be conscious of your effort. Test it first. And once you are already at that point that your passion has turned income way bigger than what you are earning right now, then it's time to spread your wings and take that step forward that you are pursuing this full time.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much, Miss Rhea. Now, how about Sir Justin? Sweet spot.
naingon naman yata ang akong we both share the same sentiments gyapon. So again, what she said is just try it out for the meantime. If it fails you now, it doesn't mean you'll fail at it in the next fail at it forever. Siguro it's not the perfect time to really pursue it kay COVID. Daghan kayo factors nga maka-affect sa sa imong gusto buhaton, pero so don't take it personally for now. Siguro put it on the back burner, and then siguro once things start to be okay, then that's the time to check again and then go on from there.
Okay. So, kuano murag kuan gito siya kanang gabi na to na emphasis yun ni Miss Rhea and ni Sir Justin. Now, okay, before we end the show for tonight, no, so I'll just give Miss Rhea and Sir Justin a chance to invite everyone, no, because they're both financial and life coaches. So kaning atong na-experience karon partida pa ni silang expertise. But if you really want to get a deeper, more ano sa ba, more information pa about investing, about planning your funds, no? How to kung kuan kay mo kung you're the person who has this desire to kind fix your finances but walay organization perhaps no di kabalo mo organized, doesn't know where to start, how to do it, then you can contact Miss Rhea and she'll let you know how. Also, Sir Justin is a life coach, so for those who are needing no services of Sir Justin, he'll also tell you how to contact them. So go ahead, Ma'am Rhea and Sir Justin.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Lai and Sir Chandler, for this opportunity. So again, I'm Rhea Mokoro Hagisan. So you can always visit my blog at www.kuripotpinay.com or follow me in my social media handle facebook.com/kuripotpinay and my YouTube channel of the same name, Kuripot Pinay. So I am more than happy to engage in whatever, most especially in terms of personal finance, money management. So feel free to reach me on those platforms. My email address can also be found there. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rhea. So that's www.koripotpinay.com for your blog. Okay, now let's go to Sir Justin.
Mm, for if you feel like want to get in touch with me, you can go through my website thrivehivecoaching.com, or you can visit my Facebook page, facebook.com. Actually, tasking ni siya. Facebook.com/thrivehive life coaching ph.
Is
Wala
this
ko
correct,
YouTube
Sir
channel.
Justin? Thrive Hive Coaching or sayop niya akong gibutang?
Sakto na. Wala ko YouTube
Okay.
channel.
Okay, so sa Miss Rhea ang na YouTube channel no na same yapon, Kuripot Pinay. Okay, and then Sir Justin has Thrive Hive Coaching. Okay, how about you, Sir Chandler? Where can people find you and what are your services?
I don't have any services right now, Ma'am Lai, but I just like to say thank you to Ma'am Rhea and Sir Justin for sparing your time, joining us here, answering questions, clarifying things up. I'm sure there are a lot of people who have been able to make sense of a lot of things, and I'm sure makatabang to sa ilaha. So we really thank you for your wisdom and your time here, and I want to thank Lipod um, for inviting me over to be part of the show. So yeah, thank you, Ma'am Lai.
Okay, si Sir Chandler kay di pa siya gusto mag-provide og service kay gusto pa siya PS4.
Wala pa. Yeah.
Although pwede man kay Sir Chandler, by the way, guys, is an accountant, no? So he passed the board and he also recently got his certification for certified practicing accountancy accountant in Australia, right?
Yep.
So pwede kinita ninyo siya i-hire, no? But at the moment, like he said, he doesn't
Wala
provide
pa.
any service kay mag PS4 sa daw siya, guys. Ha,
Ah,
pasensya na kay magduwa pa siya. Mas priority niya yung passion karon kaysa money.
Wait lang. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you again, no, Miss Rhea and Sir Justin, again for their expertise, no, they're life coaches and wealth management coaches. So please contact them if you need any of their services. Ako personally, I'm not really good in managing my finances, so hopefully puhon ko na i-manage. Kakaroon kay wala ko i-manage, so di sa taka i-contact Miss Rhea. Pero pag na ko i-manage, for sure, no, kailangan nagyud og kuan kanang coaching on how to to keep that peso alive kung naana ko'y savings na piso, how to keep that, in my account. Okay, so thank you so much again to the three of you, Sir Justin, Sir Chandler, and Ma'am Rhea. Now for the viewers, salamat po sa pagstay, no, for staying, and catch our next episode. It's going to be about, wala pa mi naka-prepare sa banner. Yes, wala pa mi naka-prepare, but just a heads up, it's going to be about culture appreciation and preservation. No, just a week before Kaamulan. Correct man, Sir Chandler, no? Okay, you're from Bukidnon, Mampod. Your roots are from
My
Bukidnon.
dad is from Bukidnon. Balay.
Okay, so yes, next week we're going to have guests, no, from um, Balay, from different parts of Bukidnon, and they are going to share to us. So they're also part of our generation. One of them is actually younger than us. He is one of the. He used to be a part of the show The Voice Kids, si Reynan, he won third place, I think, sa The Voice Kids. So they're going to share how they managed to be adapting, no, to the modern times and yet keeping their traditions and cultures, within themselves and in their community. So it's also another interesting topic that we are going to discuss. It's different and it's still exciting. Appreciating our brothers and sisters, in Bukidnon, which in a way represents all our brothers and sisters from different minority groups as well. They may not be living with us here in the city and may not be acquainted with us, but how should we treat them and how are their lives now? How are they doing this pandemic? So sila po atong kamustahon. Okay, so that's all for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed. It was a really fun talk. It was very educational as well. So salamat and good night everyone.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Night.
Thank you. Good night.